When I was a small boy, I used to help a Jewish family nearby where the father of the family could not build a sukkah without hitting his thumb with a hammer to build a tabernacle. And so I grew up always knowing that once a year, Sukkot was an important Jewish festival. Mendy, you're very welcome. Tell us about Sukkot. And by the way, can you build your own?
Sukkot is the Jewish DIY festival where they normally call in their neighbours to help them, yes. as you mentioned. A sukkah literally is what we'd just call a hut, really. And it's meant
By the way, we call it, it has this posh name, the tabernacles, which no one knows what it is, because tabernacle is the Latin word for a tent.
Correct.
Okay, tent hut. Yeah. Temporary dwelling.
Yeah, booths, huts.
Yeah.
And this is commanded in the Torah, in the Bible, in Leviticus. We are told, for 7 days you shall dwell in huts, in order to remember your time that you were living in the temporary shelter when you came out of Egypt. So we build these booths. They are anywhere from 2.5 to 4 walls is the legal requirement for them. And the main thing is that the roof needs to be covered in plants, vegetation from the ground. As a temporary thing that we know it's meant to remind us of our reliance on God, even in this day. And we're meant to use those as our homes, really. So what we would normally do in the home, we're meant to do in the sukkah. So eating, relaxing, sleeping, people will do it in the sukkah. The main thing is the meals that are eaten in there. It's a particularly exciting time of year because Sukkot is called the festival of joy. That's how it's described. Zaman simchatenu, the time of rejoicing. So it's a joyous time of the year. Yom Kippur has gone a few days ago. We're confident in being blessed with it with the new year, and we show now our reliance on God immediately. We're willing to live, especially in this climate, in a temporary shelter. So that's a really enjoyable thing. The people come in there. The main commandment, besides for living in the sukkah, is to take the 4 species together, and we make a blessing on those. And Tom, I know you have here an etrog, which we'll have a look at in a minute. The 4 species are the palm branch, the etrog, which is a citrus fruit, not a lemon. Citrus medica is the official name. They're grown in better climates than we have here. This particular one that I have is from Italy. Then there are myrtle branches and willow. And the inner symbolism behind those is that they represent different kinds of people. The date palm, the branch comes from a date palm, which has a lovely taste, the dates, but they don't have a smell. That represents somebody who is learned. They got the taste of the Torah, but not necessarily are they as involved in just going around doing good deeds and fulfilling as many mitzvot as they can, which is the smell, which makes the thing more enjoyable. Then you have the etrog, the citrus fruit, which has both a lovely smell and a lovely taste. People make etrog jam and different things afterwards. That represents somebody who's a really well-rounded individual. He's both studious and he's exemplary in his performance of the mitzvot. You have the myrtle branch, which has lovely smell, but no taste. Represents somebody who's very good at doing all the mitzvot, the surrounding, but his focus is not that much on his learning. And then you have the willow, which has neither taste nor smell, which is just somebody who's, neither the commandments, the mitzvot, or the learning. And what we do is we take them all together and we make a blessing on them. To show that a community is really made up of all these people, and all these people are precious to God. And if even the willow, which is the least meritorious, we would think, of the lot, is missing, or even broken, some of its leaves have fallen off, too many leaves have fallen off, then we can't make a blessing on any of it at all. So it's a wonderful festival of unity, together all under this one roof, making this blessing on these 4 different kinds of branches. It's a really special time.
I'm intrigued by the linkage, which is at the heart of monotheism. Dependence on God, the awareness of the goodness of God is the awareness of dependence on God. And dependence on God is unlike dependence. Human dependence is an enslaving thing. Dependence on God is a liberating thing, whereby we rejoice and are thankful, and so we bless God.
Absolutely. You said it all. Once we rely, when we have a confidence and understanding that God knows what He's doing, right, and He only wishes the best for us, then that's a tremendous relief from the various stresses of life. When you're trying your best, and things are not necessarily going the way that you'd plan them to, when we understand that there is a bigger plan out there, which not necessarily we understand right now, that's a very, very liberating mindset.
And such a mind-blowing idea that we can't put words on, and yet you can experience it in a sukkah.
Yeah, Judaism is very much about tangible experiences. That you can take something and shake it, and that has a connection with that. You can, that throughout the festivals there's physical things, eating things. We make that spiritual experience physical as well.
Mendy, thank you very much.